At this time, we'll get our Administrative Finance Committee meeting started for Wednesday, October 1st, 6 o'clock at the Old City Market, West Bellevue Street. Pledge of Allegiance and Invocation. I'll do it by Jody White. Dexter Brown is here. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, Lord, we ask that you bless over the council, keep everyone's minds open and free to make the best decisions possible for the constituents of our parish. Help us to work together and continue moving our parish forward. In this name we pray. Amen. Amen. Now I'll turn it over to our council chairman, Finance Committee, Mr. Harold Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Foster Jolivet,
Present. Yes.
Mr. Harold Taylor,
Present.
Mr. Ken Moore,
Here.
Mr. Dexter Brown, Mr. Timmy Legend, Mr. Ernest Blanchard.
Here.
Thank you.
We have a quorum. Persons to address the committee. Mr. Chairman, do you have any speakers' cards?
I had one card, but it's works.
Okay. Does anyone else need to address the Finance Committee?
Yes.
Come forward and give me your name and address. Never too late. You have 5 minutes. Yes. Why don't you sit down and fill it out, and we'll let you talk first. It's fine. You can speak now.
Hello, my name is Luke Morgan. This question is in reference to the Bombas Solar project that is going on, but I just have one question. Is unincorporated St. Landry Parish under any zone or district? If so, who is the governing body? What is the extent of their authority? And what laws or ordinances do they operate under?
Mr. Bello, do you want to handle that?
So we do have some zoning along I-49 and then in a subdivision north of Opelousas. That's the only zoning that we technically have in the parish of St. Landry. Unincorporated areas of the parish is under the parish government, which is the body you see here, parish president and the parish council.
Okay, I have this ordinance here. Not to squeeze two questions into this, but it's relevant. Section 3251, there's an energy district, which is all of unincorporated St. Landry Parish.
That's correct.
They oversee proposals, approvals, and establishment of any energy generation system within St. Landry Parish, including but not limited to solar farms.
That's correct.
Would this be the governing body that would vote on the permit for this solar farm project?
When it's going to be coming time for a vote, it comes back. This is actually the energy district right here, the council.
Okay. So my other question, what laws and ordinances do they operate under? What is the basis of their decision to grant the permit?
Everything rests with the council and the ordinances that are put in place by the council.
Let me see. All right. That's all I have.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Are you ready, sir? Thank you. You have 5 minutes. You'll give your name and address when you speak.
I'll piggyback on that first question. Oh, I'm sorry, Quinn Abear, for the record.
And your address?
120 Railroad Avenue, Sunset.
Thank you.
All right. So all of you are the energy, the board for the energy district.
Correct. Energy district is actually the parish council.
Okay. So when you would all be presented with anything to vote on as regards the energy, let's say a solar farm. You would either vote yes to approve it or no to decline, to not approve it? Is that's would be how a vote works? Okay. What would be can you give me some examples of things that would make you to vote no? What would be an example of something that you would be presented and you'd say, I vote no?
Well, I think if the neighbors do a whole poll on the neighbors and the community, if they wouldn't want it, I mean, that would be something that I would consider no for.
All right. Is that kind of a general consensus? Does that represent?
Counselor, can you tell us about the energy ordinance? Please speak into the mic.
We have our energy generation system ordinance applying to wind farms and solar farms. We have siting requirements where the buffer zone has to be 150 feet from any residence and 50 feet from any adjacent property line. Each buffer zone includes a stand of trees so it won't be visible from the roadway. The lighting, to reduce light pollution, the lighting shall be limited to a minimum lighting with the lighting pointed downwards. It has to have a fence 6 to 8 feet around it. Has to have a decommissioning plan. There's an economic development fund established. There's a legal fund established. A permit is obtained by the developer from St. Landry Parish government. The developer shall submit an energy generation system permit application. The parish engineer shall review it. The parish engineer disapproves the plan. The developer has 60 days to correct the plan. So those are some of the requirements. It can be a single contiguous track or multiple contiguous tracks on which it is. It has to have a traffic plan. It has to have a drainage plan. This is the ordinance here in Muni Code, and those are the requirements that have to be met. And if they're all met, then they get the permit, and there's just a process of negotiating with the parish president, 2 councilmen that the chairman picks to negotiate with the solar farm developer. And then the process just goes on from there as far as funding it and property taxes, and when they put out the equipment and the solar discs, and that's the property that would be subject to property taxes, but in this case, it's pilot payments. And so that's basically the process that one goes through to have a functioning solar farm here in St. Landry Parish. And this is all going to be governed by our ordinances, our siting, S-I-T-I-N-G, our siting regulations.
All right. To just clarify, the list of requirements at the beginning of what you listed, that is in order to obtain a permit?
Right. They have to obtain a permit.
Okay. So let's say they do the studies and everything. When that comes before all of you to vote on whether or not this permit is granted, of course, most certainly.
No,
No.
that's an administrative function. We set the law and the parameters by which they have to operate. For instance, one of the things that we really tuned in on was what happens if this firm goes bankrupt and you have all these panels there. Well, they're required to put up a security bond sufficient to return the property back to its original state, whether it's agriculture or just whatever it is.
Actually, I do have a follow-up question, but on this particular point, because I think this is very key. When this money is put up, where does this money go that's held in the instance that the the field is decommissioned?
It's a
Bill,
bond.
It's a bond?
It's a bond, yes.
Who
It's-
holds this bond?
The company holds the bond.
The company
Yeah.
holds the bond.
Yes, sir.
All right, and,
We get a copy of the certificate, but it's a bond that's put in place for that purpose.
all right, all right. So I want to ask Mrs. Carrier, when you said what you said, at what point in this whole process, this legal process, at what point when would those types of concerns be brought before this council?
I mean, it's a difficult question because you're asking me at which point that I think maybe that the community should be involved in that decision that he would not vote. I'm trying to understand.
Well, I guess I'm confused because it sounds like the vote for the permit, the approval of this project is based on the list that he just gave us. At what point is it brought before y'all, or is it after this, or is it before this, when the community actually would be able to bring their voice on the matter? At what point yes, sir?
So, if the parish engineer approves the plan and project, the developer shall conduct at least one community meeting to provide adjacent landowners and the public an opportunity to ask questions and discuss the project. The community meeting should be conducted before obtaining energy generation system permit. A notice of the time and location of the public meeting shall be published at least twice in the official journal before the meeting.
Hypothetically speaking, if this meeting occurs and there was not a single person in attendance at that meeting who supported this project, what effect would that have on this process?
Well, the parish government serves the people of St. Landry Parish, so they take into consideration every need and every concern. They've elected, this is the people's government, it's
Thank
not
you.
ours, they elected them. So they take into consideration every concern and every question that people have. Now, you have many different people with many different viewpoints.
Absolutely.
The job is to try to get through that, and then decide what's the best course of action to take.
So,
So,
Again-
hold 1 second, I have a question.
yes, sir.
You said this is in Sunset we putting up?
Yes, sir.
It's outside the corporate.
It is in rural Sunset, yes.
Pardon me?
It's outside the town. It's off of Hippolyte Miller.
I have no idea, I had no idea that this was even happening. Are you saying was there a public hearing, where people
No,
could come?
part of the ordinance calls for a public hearing that they do, the company does, not us.
Okay,
the
so
company-
they haven't called for the public hearing yet.
They did.
They
were
did.
on Monday night.
Monday night.
Was it advertised properly and the whole business?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Well, may I add, I'll bridge the gap here. I assume that according to the ordinance, I assume that it was followed correctly. As he said, what is required is the immediate landowners receive a notice in the mail. I have heard that not every immediately adjoining landowner received. I've heard that. I myself did. I will just say kind of the particular of this. I have 2 pieces of property that farm an L. My field got a letter in my neighbor's mailbox. My house did not, because my house is not adjacent, my field is. So it's only the adjacent property owners, and I've heard that some adjacent property owners did not get the notice. That might have been an oversight, but some have said that. The other thing that he said is required is that it be published, I think twice, but it needs to be published in a local publication. And of course, we all read the newspaper. So I think that was a very effective way of getting the news out. Meaning, no, very few people had heard about this meeting. But I think it did follow the technicality of the law. But very, very few. If it was not for a small group of people and the power of Facebook, hardly anyone would have known. But because we did so much work over the past weekend, there were, I think, about 60, 70 people at this meeting. And again, not a single person was in favor. We also, and I think record time, have just shy of 200 signatures in opposition to this project. A project that apparently many of you don't even know about. I find that very, very, very concerning. So again, to get back to my question, so yes, we had a meeting that was overwhelming in its response. At what point does this council take that into consideration and approve or disapprove? Is that my time?
You have one more minute.
All right. Is there an answer to that? At what point does this council take into consideration this overwhelming disapproval of the project?
Is that, Mr. Chairman, is that covered, if you will, in the process or the ordinance or whatever? They have, the company has a certain criteria to follow, correct? To notify public. And who polices that? Who's to make sure that that's being followed, I guess?
Well, I think that, you know, the company would be.
I can't hear you.
So the company is probably in contact with our parish government, and the parish government would oversee that. But
No, I'm
the
not talking
council
about,
would take, everything into consideration.
All right.
Including the benefit to the parish that this facility would have.
So,
Very, very
Hold on a
quickly,
second.
and I know I'm about to exhaust my time, but I do want to
Go ahead.
say this, and if there's an explanation as to why this text doesn't say what I'm hearing. So section 3251, under the authority of the Home Rule Charter, there is hereby created a special energy district, the St. Landry Energy District, for which y'all are the council members. It shall have the authority to promote, negotiate, enter into, or amend contracts or obligations for renewable energy projects for the benefit of St. Landry Parish and to consider and oversee all matters in connection therewith. The district shall have the authority to approve, negotiate, modify, and renew the tax abatement pilot systems and stuff. And yeah, so to me, just as a novice to politics, that sounds like this energy board that has been established for this purpose has the right to approve or disapprove. Yes, certainly based on the ordinances that he said, but seeing as y'all are elected officials, then the voice of the people must be a part of that process. And so I don't know if this is scheduled, I don't know when y'all would be meeting about this, but on the Bombas solar project, unless there's something I'm missing, I expect my elected representatives to meet and discuss this and vote one way or the other.
hold on
Based
one second.
on these
Council, to
things.
his question, does this energy board have the authority to approve or disapprove of a project?
Yes, there's a contract with each solar district.
Talk into the mic, please.
Yes, there's a contract, an agreement with each energy generation system company that goes before the council.
What is this contract? Has something been signed?
Mr. Chairman.
Who's
Mr.
speaking?
Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I just want to clarify something. So, Mr. Duplicent, the energy district, from what I understand it was created for, was to approve or not approve the pilot programs and the tax abatement program.
That's correct.
Okay, so I think what we're talking about is the actual permit of the solar farm or a wind farm or whatever the case may be. We only had two that came in front of the energy district, which was for the pilot programs, not for the actual permit. So, I mean, I would like to get some more clarification on that if we could, because that's very important.
Yes, it's the pilot program agreement that goes before the council for them to decide on.
The energy district.
Right.
Right,
Energy
okay,
district,
yeah.
Right,
To decide upon what? The permit?
the pilot program.
The pilot program. What about everything else that this section seems to indicate?
Counselor?
You said everything else.
Well, the things that I just read in this section, my reading of it doesn't specify that this is only talking about the pilot program. This is talking about the ability to approve or not approve of of this energy, any energy, including solar fields?
So all of those requirements are looked at and by the executive branch of the government. You have to have an enforcement branch of the government, and that's within the executive. You asked who enforces it, and that would be the executive branch.
I don't know that I don't think I asked who enforces it, but I'm glad to know that. I mean, I'm really concerned about if it's being voted upon, and specifically not voted upon by bureaucrats, but voted upon by elected representatives. When does the voice of the people get heard by this and factored into the decision making? That's what I need to know.
Okay, sir, let me say this.
Yes, sir.
In reference to your question and the part about ability to approve or not to approve, you did say one thing correct. We are elected by the people. And you mentioned earlier that maybe the councilman that's within, that's over the district where you guys sit, yeah, that councilman would need to know what the constituents of that district feels, what they're saying.
Yes, sir.
But now I want you to understand as a whole,
Yes, sir.
parish-wide, you have possibly 200 signatures, I think you said right there, that's not approving it or not in approval of it.
Yes, sir.
But as a parish, if this brings something to our parish in one way or multiple ways that's gonna help the parish,
Yes, sir.
that's what's gonna help us to make the overall decision on granting or not granting a permit. So, just to put it in a nutshell right there, when do we decide and how do we decide? Well, it's gonna be based more or less on what does this solar farm bring to the parish. I have things going on around my house right now today I'm unhappy about, but I can't do much about it.
Yes, sir.
I can vent my frustration just like you are.
And I appreciate that.
But when it comes down to what's for the parish, that's what's gonna help us approve or not approve. And as a whole, not just because 200 people that live right there is not in favor of it. And I don't mean to sound a certain way, but understand, that's how we're gonna have to eventually look at it.
You don't sound a certain way. I actually agree with you 100%. I realize that this is a democratic republic. We're a part of that, and you have representatives here all across the parish, and you have to concern yourself with your people. I think my argument, and using this 200 as a launching point, is there is a legitimate question, and in the coming days and weeks, I hope to maybe even come back and address y'all again. I think there's a good argument to be made that this may not, I don't know, may not be in the best interest of the entire parish, especially when you see the precedents being set and the reasons that these precedents are being set. And I know I've much exhausted my time, so I will
Thank you
bow
very
out.
much.
But thank y'all very much. I appreciate y'all.
Let's see, Jennifer Mott, is it Mott?
Yes, sir. So I've lived down Hippolyte Miller for
Please speak in the mic, please. Your name and address.
Jennifer Mott, Hippolyte Miller. I've lived there for over 20 years. We own a couple properties down there. We have a major flooding issue on our road. Like, you can get 6 inches of rain and have a flooding issue. We had 2 areas that held the water. One, the water board district approved and they redid it, so now we have even more flooding. That's not the issue today. The issue today is turning 84 acres into a solar farm that literally holds feet of water every time it rains. I've rescued a bus of children with a tractor next to that cane field because it holds so much water. So we're gonna put electricity in a lake. I'm not talking about one time it happened. Like, that's not a one-time occurrence. It's every time we get more than 6 inches of rain, the bridge cannot be, it's not passable unless you have a tractor or a boat. That bridge is in the middle of the 84 acres. So I can't even walk. I'm only 5'3". I can't walk in that. It's very deep. So that means every time we get more than 6 inches of rain, these solar panels are going to be sitting in water. That's just a health issue at the beginning. This solar panels, solar farms have depreciated people's property values across the nation by not 3%, by major percentages, 25+%. So you have tons of land that's farmland in that area. However, there is some very expensive homes near there. Mine's not one of them, but they just started building $1 million homes on 754. So if you just built a gigantic house and your house depreciates by $25,000, I mean, 25%, your $1 million house isn't worth that much and you're still paying on it possibly. There's literally a house that was just built there by some cane farmers. It's not even a year old. It's almost directly perpendicular from Hippolyte Miller and 754. And the 754 area is booming with new homes. 356 is starting to get a lot of higher end homes. That's within the 1 mile perimeter. So you're building these massive homes. They're going to pay great property taxes, but their homes are devaluing. So are you going to lower the property tax to keep the solar panels in water? Like, I'm not trying to be rude or disrespectful. These are a whole bunch of things that I don't even know if the guy building the solar panel knows that the area is a flooding area because it's not listed as a flood zone. It's never been listed as a flood zone. Every time it rains hard, our road is closed. It hits the list of roads closed. Every time. We all know because we live there. There's a big group text, hey, everybody head south, you can't go north. Everybody knows it. And we're okay with it because we live in our homes and we've been there for years, and it actually deters the insane amount of traffic that goes down that road. But to me, electricity sitting in water can't possibly be healthy. Like, that's one of those things you learn in kindergarten or something, that you don't put electricity in water. I don't know how solar panels work. I have like no clue. That's not my thing. I can do numbers. I can't do solar panels or electricity, but I'm pretty positive that feet of water and electricity aren't things that you mix. So that's just my opinion as just a homeowner down Hippolyte Muller. It's going to destroy our home values. It's going to be full of water and it's going to buzz. There's a guy that just built a house across the street from it. Like, there's so many homes being built, even on our road. And it's just going to depreciate everyone's value drastically. Like, you can Google it. It's just, they have solar farms in California now that are being closed because it's destroying the wildlife. There's so many side effects of solar panels, which I didn't even know until I got this little notification and started looking it up because I've never really been in interest of it. So I'm just bringing you our concern. And we have a few guys that live around us that got together and in 48 hours got over 200 signatures. My husband didn't even have a chance to sign it yet. My two older kids didn't have a chance to sign it yet. Lots of people have not signed it yet. And that was done really quick by a Facebook post. So I'm sure the signatures will rise. All we have to do is get it out there. I don't want to.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Andrew Morgan?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I had a question for Ms. Mott.
Okay.
Ms. Mott, you mentioned the situation about every time it rains over there.
Yes, sir.
Is y'all's houses over there, have they flooded?
The only house that has come close to flooding is the Crater house. It got to their front door. We brought them a whole bunch of sandbags. It did not flood. But they just built 3 houses in an area that the people that bought the property didn't know that it holds water because it's not listed as a flood zone. So I sadly don't know the answer to that yet. They didn't move in.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Morgan? Name and address, please.
My name is Andrew Morgan. I live down Curley's Road in Sunset. All of my questions that I have, may I ask that they be directed directly to the council? Is that okay? Okay. My first question is, have y'all been informed about this project?
No.
I have not.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to ask that we take a head count. How many people are aware of the whole situation?
Prior to us making it a point to get out and get the word.
I'm aware of the project, a little bit of.
I'm not aware of it. You aware? You aware of it?
First I've heard.
Okay, this is the letter that was sent to only the adjacent landowners and the site plan. Would y'all like to see this?
Sure.
Get a copy.
Okay.
Our clerk-
Just give it to the clerk and she'll make
Okay,
copies for
thank
us.
you. I'd like to say that we got the letter on, I believe either a Wednesday or a Thursday. I got a picture of the letter from Quinn on a Thursday, and in about 2 hours, I'm the one that wrote the petition. We got together, me and Quinn and my brother Luke, and in 4 days, I got to feel what you guys feel about being politics. I got to go to everyone's door and talk to them. So thank you guys, first of all, for going out and fighting and being this. It was very difficult. It was a very emotional process. Secondly, with that comes, I did get to meet and actually speak with all 200 of these signatures personally. The only reason that it isn't 10,000 is because we have not had the time to make our petition go any further than the 3 roads that we went down. This isn't necessarily the area. This is 3 roads. We live in a rural town. How many houses do you think are on each road? We only got to go to 200 houses in a time frame of 4 days. Every signature was a landslide. They didn't let us finish. We gave them the petition and said, this is our petition. Well, what's it for? Well, it's for a solar project that's going to be put here, and we're trying to, give me your pen. They didn't even let us finish. And then if anyone in the house was 18 years of age and lived in St. Landry Parish, they asked us if they could also sign it. Some houses we got 5 signatures. I understand that this is a commission based on all of the districts of St. Landry Parish. But if you give us 2 months to travel, I can with a whole heart say that there will be another 100% signature rate. I would just like to say that it was emotional to meet these people, and I understand that you guys represent these people. I look forward to seeing what you guys want to do about this, and to ease your shoulders, a lot of people do, in fact, believe and will be calling in you guys to support them. They do believe that y'all will. So I never got anything negative about you guys, and they look forward to calling you. So secondly, I guess my final question is, for this petition to hold so much weight that the undeniable list of people, the list to be undeniable evidence that we cannot do this in our area, at which point does the petition become so powerful that it can override and y'all can vote on this topic personally?
Go ahead, Mr. Moore.
Thanks for the information. I'm looking at
Yes,
the
sir.
date of the letter, dated September 17th, 2025.
Yes, sir. I believe that was the day that it was sent, but not the day that it was received.
Not written, but sent.
I believe that is the day that it was sent. Yes, sir.
Okay. And how many days before the meeting that you got your letter?
If I may, can I look at my phone? I actually have it.
That's fine.
Okay. So he received it on Tuesday. When did you send it to me?
Maybe Wednesday.
So maybe Wednesday. So our petition started Thursday.
And the meeting was Monday,
The meeting was Monday. Yes, sir. It was Monday at 5 o'clock.
Friday, Saturday, and weekend.
Yes, sir. So we started Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and, we had Monday morning.
Was there, one more question. Was there records taken? Was there dictation, or was there some reference to proof of what was stated and what was said?
There was a
And
site,
overall general jurisdiction of the area there, you were saying was, I guess, Is that right?
Sorry, one more time, what was the question?
Okay, most of the people that attended did not want the project,
Yes, sir.
okay? For what reason? Water?
They were-
That's one issue, right? Okay, property depreciation, yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, how many homes, excuse me, one more, how many homes have been built recently? And, well, the general area that we're talking about, how many acres?
You're gonna have to come up, ma'am, to.
Yeah.
Can I stay up or do I have to sit down?
On Hippolyte, we've had 3 built in the last 3 months. On 754, there's 4 that just were built in the last year and 1 going up between Hippolyte and Mills Road. On 356, which is directly perpendicular with 754, you cut across Hippolyte Miller, there's 356. There's $2 million homes that were built in the last few years, and then there's multiple that are over 700,000. On Crasham Point, there's 2 new homes and 2 old, they were dilapidated, I guess you would say, that people have done amazing things with, and they now look fabulous, I guess you would say. I don't know the valuation, but it would be well over 500,000. I don't know the exact number.
One question to the parish president, if you will. This is a history or a known area of flooding that we were aware of, or any project, I mean,
Yeah,
any
so-
work had been done over there?
So
Yes,
let's-
they've
so-
drained it.
So let's be clear on something. The process is just started. No application has been submitted.
Okay.
So there's no reason to bring it to any,
No, I'm sorry, excuse me. In the letter here, it actually says that
Okay,
in
but-
July, that it was
but
submitted to the Land and Development Company, and specifically a Miss Cheria, Miss Carrie Charles received it in, I'm sorry, she received it in,
so let me talk on the parish president's point.
July 11,
There's no
2025.
application in the parish president's office relative to this. We had one meeting with the company. They never even told us that this is a viable project, but they started their process of their due diligence before coming to us. The public hearing is just one step in the process. They have to do all of their studies and submit that with the application. At that time, we give it to our engineers. They go do their studies.
Good.
And if everything checks out, the boxes all check out and it's good, then we bring it to the energy district, which could be not till maybe next summer sometimes.
Okay.
But, so I don't bring things to the council or energy district until an application is completed and ready to be voted on at some degree when it comes to a pilot program. Right now, there's nothing at all in place for that.
I'm sorry to be contradictory, Mr.
You have
Chairman.
1 minute
I'm
left.
talking on behalf of the parish president. What they write in their paper has nothing to do with me.
Okay, you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Okay. It does say in here that the package, specifically the application package for this project, was delivered to a Miss Carrie Charles on July 11th, 2025, and is currently under review. Now, in order for the committee meeting to have, the community meeting to have happened, there must have been studies done before the community meeting was allowed to happen. There's certain criteria. The studies in which, such as the drainage and traffic studies, should have gone to the engineer for prior approval. The review can only take that study, redline it based on the community's concerns, and then redo it and resubmit the package. If I am wrong, I am sorry. I recommend reading that. I do know that those studies should be there. So one, I would love to see the studies and then be public. Also, when we brought up the flooding of this area, the development company was completely unaware of how bad the flooding was. When we told them that, they were starstruck. We have pictures of how bad it floods. They only use topographical maps for this. I don't know if they did a survey, but if they would have, they would have seen just how low that area truly is, and they wouldn't have been so taken by it. I can't say for sure what they have to say about it, but they were very concerned about how bad they didn't know how bad the flooding was. So with that information, I leave it up to history. So
Thank you, Mr. Morgan.
Yep, thank you.
As you can tell, the process has just started. The president he doesn't have any information on it to
Well,
give
I
it
know
to you.
Monday night he had made a statement that he was ready to approve it, so that's why we are all here, because we were shocked to hear that.
we were also told there's nothing that we could do about it.
Yeah.
Listen, when it comes to what the ordinance calls for, there's nothing in our ordinance that says a petition signed by 200 or 500 people can stop this process. And I'm gonna give you the case in point like I did the other night. Calcasieu Parish did the same thing. They denied it based off of a petition. Guess what happened? The court said, no, you can't do it. You gotta follow your own ordinance. And our ordinance says you gotta follow these specific points. And as long as they follow that, and our engineering company comes up to it and says, yes, they recommend it, as long as they do this, it's fine to do the project. I don't see anybody can deny it legally, like I told you on Monday night. And I'm gonna stand by that until our attorney tells me different. And then again, it's not ready to come to this council, to the energy district, until an application is filed and everything is done before, I'm not bringing it to them until it's ready to be brought here.
Can we put this in the record? Because the last paragraph.
Okay, we're gonna wrap this up
Yep,
now.
sorry.
Listen,
Okay.
Mr. Bellard?
Yeah.
Mr. Bellard, so what you're saying is ultimately the council, as the committee, as the energy committee, is gonna make the final decision and everybody's gonna vote aye or nay. Is
I
that
will.
correct?
I will.
You get to see the folks that support you and the folks that don't support you, okay?
Yes, sir. Can we
Good.
submit this?
Thanks very
for-
much. Yes, you can give it to
Can
the
we get
clerk, she'll
copies?
pass it out. Thank y'all very much. Moving on. Item number 5, Parish President.
You'll have the finances submitted, and the other parts of it are part of the agenda, which is the resolutions for the airport and the resolution for CEA for the fire truck with Lafayette Fire Department. And then there's one other resolution, I don't think that was part of the agenda, but it needed to be part of our parish president's report, is resolution number 34-2025. And it deals with the grant for rural funding for the transportation program at Community Action. I think, I want to say Sherelle made a copy of that for y'all.
We can ask her to give.
Y'all have it.
Yeah, 30.
No, we gotta
Yeah.
renew it every year for the contract.
025.
34.
Yeah, 034-2025.
All right. Does that conclude your report?
Yes, sir, the other stuff is in the line items.
All right. Number 6, authorize the parish president, Jesse Bellard, to sign a cooperative endeavor agreement by and between the city of Lafayette City Parish Government, Consolidated Government, and the parish of St. Landry concerning the donation of a surplus 2001 fire truck. You want to expound on that, Mr. President?
Mr. Chairman, that's in reference to a fire truck that they're giving to Cooley Cross Fire Department in Cankton. They just got to go through us to make the donation complete.
Okay. Not yet. Not yet. Anybody have any questions on the fire truck? All right, the first motion going to be to accept the parish president's report. Do we have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second. Madam Clerk.
Yes.
Mr. Ernest Blanchard.
Yes.
Mr. Paul Jonathan.
Yes.
Motion forward. Motion second.
You know, I have to vote on, we only have 4 members,
Oh, yeah,
darling.
Mr. Harold Taylor.
Yes,
Okay, motion carried.
okay. Second would be to accept the donation of the fire truck. Do we have a motion?
Most areas,
Call it.
That's in Miss Vivian's district.
I do it.
Got a second? Second. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Ernest Blanchard. Yes. Mr. Paul Jonathan.
Yes.
Mr. Harold Taylor.
Yes.
Mr. Ken Moore.
Yes.
Number 7, forward to the full council resolution 029-2025. A resolution authorizing the president to execute an agreement with the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development for improvements of the St. Landry Parish Airport. I think we discussed this at the last meeting.
Yeah, we have those three. It's just a reoccurring revenue from the last fiscal year.
You need those to be moved to full council?
Yes, sir.
You have a motion?
Yes.
We have a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Foster Delavan?
Yes.
Mr. Harold Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Ken Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Ernest Blanchard?
Yes.
Motion forward.
Number 8, forward to the full council, resolution 030-2025, a resolution authorizing the president to execute an agreement with the Louisiana Department of Transportation for improvements to the airport. This is
That's a continuation. Well, you have three of them, right?
Yeah, there's three of them, three separate
Can we
resolutions.
just combine them?
no, we're going to
Okay,
take
you gotta
each
do
one
them
up.
individually, that's fine.
Do we have
So
a,
move.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Ken Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Ernest Blanchard?
Yes.
Mr. Foster Delavan?
Yes.
Mr. Harold Taylor?
Yes.
Motion forward.
Number 9, forward to the full council, resolution number 031-2025, a resolution authorizing the parish president to execute an agreement with the Department of Transportation in the improvements of the airport.
So move.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Ernest Blanchard?
Yes.
Mr. Foster Delavan?
Yes.
Mr. Harold Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Ken Moore?
Yes.
Motion forward.
Number 9.
All right, number 10, forward to the full council, resolution number 032-2025, where the, well, that's the fire truck thing, right, Jesse?
Yeah,
We just passed that one.
Correct, yes,
you
sir.
did. Well, we-
Say,
Yeah.
Full council.
We sent it to the full council.
Yeah, we did.
Okay. All right, number 11, forward to the full council, resolution 033-025, a resolution, whereas the St. Linda Parish government will receive a 2001 fire truck vehicle number such and such,
That's the same
do I need to read all of it?
Same thing.
Lafayette City.
Yeah.
So the first one was for us to accept it from
And
Lafayette
this is
Parish.
giving it to Cooley
And
Brook.
this one is for us to donate it to,
Yeah.
Cooley Cross Fire District, number
We have a
4.
motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Mr. Foster Delavan?
Yes.
Mr. Harold Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Ken Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Ernest Blanchard?
Yes.
Motion forward.
Discuss any other business that would be brought before the council, committee, excuse me. Anyone? If not, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Ken Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Ernest Blanchard?
Yes.
Mr. Foster Delavan?
Yes.
Mr. Harold Taylor?
Yes. Motion.
All right, turn it over to Public Works.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Nancy Carrier?
Here.
Ms. Mildred Beard?
Here.
Mr. Alan Silly? Ms. Vivian Olivier?
Here.
Mr. Wayne Ordway? Mr. Jimmy Edwards? Thank you.
Persons to address the committee, I'm gonna go ahead before the broadband representative, Mr. Eli Landry. Mr. Landry, could you state your name and your address, please?
Eli Landry, 309 Water Tower Road, 337-363-5735. I'm over here for the same purpose as I've been coming, and no, nothing's been done. And I have for the drainage, I have from the ACS office, where it has to be dug, but the parish has got a copy. Tim Marks put it in the filing cabinet. I was there when he did it. If it wasn't taken out, it's there. But I feel it was taken out. Also, who's responsible if we tire our vehicles on the limbs and the crap that's along the road? The parish president gets sued, the whole council, or what?
Garrett, would you like to answer that question?
If you have any,
Nobody wants to answer on that, huh?
damage,
Garrett,
if you have
Mr.
any
Landry.
damage
the attorney
caused
is
to your
here.
property that you think the parish government is responsible for, you can consult with an attorney, and the attorney can advise you to that matter. I represent the council, I can't advise you against the parish government, but if you think damage was done to your property and the parish government is responsible, you can consult with an attorney, to see what his advice is.
If I was part of you, I'd understand you, but I don't. I've been trying to get the limbs cut. The bad part about it, when you able about it, you don't depend on the parish. Because the parish don't do that work. You do it yourself. I can't do it no more. The boys cut the trees for the tornado. After the tornado, they had trees hanging on the road. They cut that off also. We hauled 5 loads. I hauled 5 loads. They hauled more. I quit. I couldn't go no more. With a gooseneck trailer. And I burnt them. But the parish, now, next time we had some stuff, Mr. Stelly, not Stelly. I can't think of his name. He came over, he did a good job. He cleaned it for the parish. But if I'd have waited on the parish trucks to come do it, it'd have never been done. But it won't be done. We're going to tear up our equipment, and they're going to have a lawsuit because I will not tear my camper up to have Jesse Billard buy a tennis court or whatever it is just to make him big dog. It won't happen. Okay, another thing I need to know.
I have a question.
Whoa, I got the
I have
floor.
a question.
I got the floor.
Wait.
I have a question related to the road.
Come on.
I have a question related to the road. Where are the trees located? On a public roadway or on that
On the
driveway that
public
goes on your
roadway.
field? On a public roadway,
Yeah.
not in your field.
No, it's not about field. My field is clean. My side is clean.
If there's trees that's leaning over into the roadway, on our roadway,
Yes, I told you that last time.
no. So,
You got amnesia. Go ahead.
so if there's trees that's leaning over into the roadway and it's gonna hinder traffic, you don't have to worry about that. It's gonna be taken care of. But I'm not going on private property like you want us to do.
It's no. I didn't tell you that, Jesse.
Mr. Landry.
I always said it's on the side of the road. My property is clean.
Okay, Mr. Landry, I'm just gonna, so, Mr. Ballard, you are aware of his situation, at least you're gonna go and check it out, and he's on the road, on the
The
roadway.
road, correct.
So.
That's what I said last time.
Then, Mr. Landry, because now you have made it clear that you have that issue, and I'm sure Mr. Swallow and Mr. Ballard is saying they're gonna go and check it out.
I got another issue. On May the 7th, he said he wouldn't do nothing for me because I never satisfied. Now you tell me when I wasn't satisfied. You didn't do nothing since being president. Nothing.
So you are correct. I stopped answering your phone calls. I stopped dealing with you because everything we do is
Because
never
you
good
never
enough.
did nothing.
It's never good enough for you, so that's, I don't waste my time. So this is what I'm gonna do. If there's branches that's coming over that road that's gonna hinder traffic, I'm gonna go see about it. So it's just that simple.
You must have a violin. You're changing your tune. Thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Landry, I'm sure they'll attend to it. Thank you. The Public Works, I'm sorry, we have a representative with the broadband to give an update on, the project.
So Madam Chairman, I have Sarah with APC. She's gonna give us an update on what we doing as a parish for St. Landry. And I think she may be able to enlighten us on some other stuff with the broadband.
Good evening. My name is Sarah Gary, and I'm with the Acadiana Planning Commission. And Jesse had asked me to come over today to kind of update you on the NTIA broadband grant that we have that will serve broadband to St. Landry Parish. So we have 2 providers for you guys. LUS Fiber is handling the disbursement in the town of Eunice. And then Allen's Communication is handling the Grand Coteau Sunset area. So I've got in 2 different places for updates. So and Eunice will go first. So basically in Eunice, there's both overhead and underground. They just got the clearance from Slimco to start running the overhead fiber lines through the town of Eunice. However, they are finishing up with LSUE, which is going to be their hub for that area. I think they're waiting on some final paperwork maybe before they can light everything up. I do know that LSUE has the service right now with them, but in order to light up the customers within the town, they have to get that paperwork kind of all settled with the university.
Question.
Yeah, Mr. Marks.
You mentioned Allen Cable doing Sunset. They're range of customer service is way further out than Sunset.
Oh, correct.
Hang on, because I live in one of those areas. My question is, are we on the list in the eastern part of I-49 going toward the Mississippi, to the Chapalaya? Is there any area in that rural area where we can hopefully get some services?
So I'll talk about our NTIA grant first, and then I can kind of answer
Okay,
that
that's
later
fine.
if that's okay with you. Okay. So as far as the Allen side, they are kind of the Sunset Grand Coteau area. We do not go all that this particular grant doesn't go all the way up, I think, to the Judson Walsh exit. So far as of September 2nd, they've laid about 172 miles of fiber in the ground. They do have customers turned on. I don't have the exact number, but they have turned some customers on. There's a couple of like little, I guess you could call straggler blocks, that they had to wait for some equipment and some cabinets to come in before they can kind of finish that work. But for the NTIA portion of the evening, I'll say that grant is our grant. It's a $30 million grant, and that does close out in February of 2026. So both areas, LUS Fiber, they start kind of sort of in the Scott area. They go up to Eunice, Church Point, all the way up to Ville Platte. So they kind of make that arc like this. And then Allen's is more in this area. And so fiber will be laid, and they'll have the ability to turn customers on, and we'll be finished our portion of the grant by February of next year. Now, to answer your question, so there are a multitude of kind of broadband programs that have come out, right? I do know, like some parish governments use their ARPA funds to kind of, partner with a cable provider, ISP cable provider, in order to run fiber in areas. So like, I know St. Martin Parish, for example, they use their ARPA funds. They partnered with Cajun Broadband, and they ran fiber that way. We did the NTIA grant. The state had BEAD, what I call 1.0, which was a subset of state funds that they used. The Office of Broadband.
Gumbo package?
Yes, Gumbo. Office of Broadband ran that particular program. After the NTIA grant came out, and when they had the new IIJA, there was lots of broadband funding for that. And so the state got about 1.2 or $1.3 billion of what's called BEAD funding. Okay. And they were kind of sort of, the state was the first out of the gate to get their 5-year plan as well as their BEAD plan done and submitted to NTIA in order to get approval. The new administration came in and kind of changed some of the rules as far as the BEAD program was concerned. So the state, although they had, by the time the new administration had come in, they had an approved BEAD plan. They had to kind of walk that back a little bit to make the changes that the current administration was requiring of them. It is my understanding that they have since then made those changes. I think, do not quote me though, because I'm not 100% sure. They've gotten the approval from NTIA to continue with it. And what'll happen is it'll be similar to what it's actually dubbed Gumbo 2.0. So it'll be similar to the first round of Gumbo funds that they deployed, except with the first round, they allowed the ISPs to dictate kind of the areas that they wanted to bid on. With Gumbo 2.0, the state, in order to meet all of the requirements,
Mr. Taylor, Mr. Blanchard, Mr. Taylor and Mr. Blanchard, could y'all kind of hold it down? I think we kind of hearing y'all conversation more than her. That's what I said, Mr. Taylor. I said Mr. Taylor and Mr. Blanchard.
Okay, no worries. So with Gumbo 2.0, what the state did in order to make sure that to do exactly what you were hoping, right? That everybody can get served. Now I'm going to be honest with you. There's going to be areas where the benefits do not outweigh the cost. And so they're not going to have broadband, but there's some other options as far as satellite that can be deployed.
Will municipalities have an upper opportunity for that?
So how Gumbo 2.0 is going to work, the state actually drew out the areas and they will put that out to bid to the different ISPs. And so the ISPs are those internet service providers can bid on those areas based off of what their capabilities, I guess, are as far as deploying is concerned. I'm not quite sure it's the reason why the state did that was to ensure that they weren't getting just the good areas. They were also getting some areas that was kind of hard to get to.
Right. Well, okay, and the reason I'm asking is because I represent District 6, which covers Portbury and Krotz Springs area via 190 East. The map you're talking about, are we on the map?
So I have not, I don't know. I can tell you, you can go to the Office of Broadband. There is, it's been a while since I've been there. I used to have it memorized exactly where it is. But on there, it talks about their BEAD program. If you pull that up, if you scroll to the bottom, there's a bunch of different little where you can click on it. It'll have a drop-down menu. One of those areas will have a link to an actual map, and you can type in an address, and it will allow you to see if, number one, if there's a provider in your area. You can also do this through the FCC's website also. FCC will tell you who your current provider is. The Office of Broadband website will allow you to see if there is Gumbo 1.0 basically funds deployed in that area, who those funds were deployed to, and 2.0 will tell you, again, I don't know if they have actually bid those out yet or not.
Okay.
So if they have, you can get all that information for who potentially would have been who was awarded if that's been done.
Correct, and a time frame, I presume.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think I will say this.
Well, Alan Cable was telling me, because I currently have service with them for internet, and they're telling me, yes, it's coming, but we just don't know when.
Yeah, so with the previous administration, there was some hard deadlines that it had to go. I don't know if those deadlines have carried over with the current administration's kind of guidance that they had them change some certain things.
Okay. Are you
And
through,
I'll leave you
Mr.
with
Morris?
this. I have one other question,
Okay.
if I may. The schools and the post offices are the ones suffering the most with lack of, and businesses as well,
So,
of this service.
right. So the way the BEAD program is structured is they're considered critical, kind of sort of critical infrastructure, right? And so you have the first kind of before you can deploy to someone's house, you have to be able to deploy to the critical infrastructures like the post office, hospitals, schools, those types of things. Correct.
I get that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna open it up to other people.
Thank you. Thank
Terry
you.
has a couple of questions.
Yes. I have a major concern because I was the one who requested that we would have someone with broadband to come before the council. Back a couple of years, maybe 2 to 3 years ago, there was a big meeting held in Sunset, and they came and they said that everybody in the rural area would eventually get broadband. Well, all this time has passed, and I represent District 4. And I know for a fact that some of the areas like the Grand Prairie area, the Free Local area, and the Pleasance area, those people did not receive access to broadband in the area. And I'm not hearing any more about it. So I want to know, and I heard you name some areas. Would these areas be somehow included?
They are not included in our NTIA grant. I would assume that, I mean, the whole point of the 1 point something billion that the state received in BEAD funding, right, was to ensure that broadband fiber service, right, internet service was provided statewide. Now, I could not tell you the areas that you indicated, who the internet service providers are, if they were awarded if any of the providers were awarded Gumbo 1.0 funds, and or what that looks like as far as Gumbo 2.0 is concerned. Like I was telling Mr. Marks, you can definitely go to the Office of Broadband's website, and there is a map. So you can type in, if you know an address in that area, you can type it in and you can see if Gumbo 1.0 funds were awarded, who was the internet service provider, and if if anything was awarded for 2.0.
What I'm trying to find out, is this project completed? The project that started 2 or 3 years ago, who can give me an answer to that? Has it been completed?
So I'm not sure which project you're talking about. Our NTIA project is not completed, but it does not serve the areas that you spoke about specifically.
Mr.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Odwin.
Yes, ma'am. You mentioned Eunice. Y'all have all of the Eunice area?
LUS Fiber is going to deploy in the Eunice area, correct?
Eunice area.
Yes, sir.
Now, that's the only area y'all coming into in St. Landry Parish?
Well, the other area, that's the only area LUS Fiber is coming into in St. Landry Parish. The other areas that are being deployed are through Allen's Communication, and they are Grand Coteau, Sunset, and they come somewhat up, not all the way up to the Judson Walsh exit.
Judson Walsh, yeah.
Yes.
905.
Yeah. But they do not come into the city of Opelousas. They do not go out as far as what Miss Theory.
The city of, the portions in the city of Opelousas, those are gonna be up for bid, or AT&T as it wraps up? Where we stand with that?
So that's more that, like I said, that's, again, I don't operate the BEAD program, so I can only kind of talk to you as to what I kind of know,
What
right?
you're involved with, yeah.
Right. And I'm not even really involved in the BEAD program. I just know about it because the state has brought, like they communicate with us, right? As far as I know with the BEAD funds 2.0, again, it's been a hot minute since I've actually looked at that map, but there were well covered areas with that, I guess I forgot what they called them. Basically service areas. The state actually drew out the service areas that will go up for bid to the internet service providers.
That has not been done.
I do not think that has been done yet, but I am not 100% either because I've not kind of kept my kind of ear to the ground with that. The last I heard from the state was that based off of the current administration's change in the programming rules, right? They had to go back and adjust the BEAD plan. That the BEAD plan is what basically it's their funding plan. How are we going to deploy this 1 point something billion dollars, right? They had to go back and kind of change some of the things within that plan. Then it had to be submitted to NTIA because that is the federal organization that oversees that program. Now, as you all know, if you're keeping your ear to the ground on federal politics, there's been a lot of cuts made. We're actually in a government shutdown right now, unless something has changed between the last time I checked the news and now. So those reviews are moving very slowly. So they could not deploy what is considered Gumbo 2.0 until that BEAD plan received reapproval, for lack of a better term.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
I have a question. And I know you said some areas they offer money, they could use it towards that, and we don't have any of that, any money anymore of that. But, and I know you mentioned you didn't know about the bidding process, and I think some of it has taken place.
So
because-
Gumbo 1.0 has happened and actually is being like they're deploying it now, and that could be the program that Miss Theory is talking about, because that kind of meets that time frame. that's a state program, so I don't know a lot about it, right? I can give you the general, right? But I don't know the particulars of it. And so the Gumbo 2.0 is going to, there's obviously lots more money involved in that one, $1 billion. And that one, the state kind of, instead of allowing the internet service providers to dictate the areas, the state actually dictated the areas for them that they will then put out to bid.
Okay. And I just have one more thing. And I'm trying to understand that if this is a part of it, about what, 3 years ago, that vice president had come around the sunset
So that
area?
was okay. So that was NTIA. That was our $30 million award. But that did not go. That's the program. If that's the award you're talking about, when that happened, that does not go to. That does the NTIA program that we have does not go to the areas that you were talking
Yeah,
about.
because I think it was mostly for that Kington, Sunset,
Correct.
that area. That's
Yes.
why she showed up there.
Yeah.
Miss Theory.
So do we have anything that we can try to look into to getting into those areas where they did not reach out to after being told that they would be covered?
From what I understand, the 2.0 is, that's what they should be focusing on. Because before, the companies would dictate, or they would file application for the areas where they want to go, which is the more consolidated areas, obviously for more money. But 2.0 doesn't allow that, so that's why the state is going to be the one dictating where the new area is going to be located.
So is it possible that they're gonna be looking at those areas, Free Local, Grand Prairie, and Pleasance area?
I can reach out to Benita.
Yeah, you can look the map. If you go to the Office of Broadband
Yeah.
website, the map, there's a map on there. If you know an address, you can type it in, or you can zoom in on the area. As best, if from remembering the last time I looked at it, it was the state was pretty well covered with the areas that that they were planning on to go out to bid for.
Right.
The last thing I have to ask is, when do you think that the conclusion, as far as when the state finally makes that decision that maybe some of these areas will be serviced and that?
I don't have that answer for you. I'm sorry.
Okay, anybody else have any questions?
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Here, thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Okay, Public Works, report.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. Boom axing 7 roads, cover cleaning on 2, covered installation on 10, debris removal on 50 roads, ditching on 3, grading on 51 roads, material spread on 3 roads, patching on 25 roads, shredding on 45 roads, sign installation on 26 roads, tree removal on 7 roads, and we worked 8 washouts.
Any questions? So, roll call to approve the Public Works.
I move to
report.
accept.
Ms. Mildred Theory?
Yes.
Ms. Vivian Olivier?
Yes.
Mr. Wayne Ardoin?
Yes.
Mr. Jimmy Edwards? Motion carried.
Number 5, authorize the council clerk to advertise for 2 appointments for a 2-year term for the fire district. Number 1.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Vivian Olivier?
Yes.
Mr. Wayne Ardoin?
Yes.
Mr. Jimmy Edwards? Ms. Mildred Theory?
Yes.
Motion forward.
Number 6, preliminary approval only for a residential subdivision. Excuse my pronunciation, okay, being Track B and Track D of the Stewart Mesh petition showing a 16,000 acre tract of land petitioned as lots 1 to 32, located on proposed street off of Miller Road and Montgomery Road. Final approval is contingent upon reserve, detention and drainage and analysis, I'm sorry.
Mr. Bill, you have something on that?
Yeah, Mr. Gerald's in the audience. He can answer any question and give you a preview.
Can you pronounce that subdivision? I'm sorry.
The owner?
The subdivision's name is just an acronym.
That's the owner of the subdivision. We haven't named it yet. It's JJED Tithes LLC. It's just the letters as far as I know. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
So this subdivision, obviously in the public hearing, we had some people show up that off of Miller Road, mostly nobody off of Montgomery Road, but off of Miller Road, complain about some drainage issues on Miller Road. We conducted a preliminary drainage study. There's not much. They say the road ditches flood right there. A lot of it has to, the road travels east, crosses under a culvert crossing, I think a 30-inch metal pipe, and goes south into a bigger coulee and then goes all the way to 182. A lot of that drainage is backwater. A lot of the complaints that I understood were from bigger rains. There's not much you can really do there. We can go put a way bigger pipe for the crossing. I don't know if that's necessarily going to do anything with the effects of backwater. Would we propose, and I don't know, did the detention ordinance pass? Not yet. I spoke with my client and he's willing to lose portions of his lots to reserve detention. The way this property is shaped, it's a through road from Miller Road straight through to Montgomery. And the property is turtleback. So it comes up from Miller Road and Montgomery Road about 3 feet on its high point. So it's the drainage is going to go to both roads. We're going to reserve detention on each side. I can't guarantee it's not going to alleviate any of the drainage problems on Miller Road or Montgomery, but it will not further impact. So that means whatever water is coming off of it as a pasture, that's what it's going to come after it's fully developed. We can only work with what we have. We might have to get with the parish. Maybe we have to do some ditch cleaning on Miller Road, maybe, and that's going to be some from my client in the parish. We're going to have to work out and design. But I'm not going to move forward with a full impact and design and drainage analysis until preliminary approval. Once we get preliminary approval, I give my client a proposal for engineering services for that design, and he agrees. We move forward. Then we submit plans to the parish for Nick, for review engineer to approve, and then it comes. Then if it's approved by him, if all our things are met, then we do construction and then do as-builts and final approval after. But he is going to lose some lots. We will put in some reserve detention. I know people will be upset. I think they're more upset about the lots going there, the size of them. I think they're close to between 0.4 and 0.5 acres. And I can't help that, but I don't want to cause any issues with people with drainage issues. I don't want that problem. I don't want the parish to have that problem. I just know whatever I do on this development, I can not impact what's already, further impact.
Okay. And I know you did say that it's not gonna make it better, but it's not gonna make it worse neither.
The current drainage. My subdivision will drain into a detention pond and will hold in there. Now, if you get a 100-year storm or a big rain really fast, I can't guarantee it won't overtop. I mean, we analyze all of that in the drainage analysis from a 10-year storm to a 100-year storm. So he'll be able to see, okay, hey, when you get this much rain, this is what it's going to do. But it's only designed to hold, I think we're going to do a 25-year storm.
Right.
Mr. Taylor, Mr. Marks, could y'all kind of hold it down? I hope everybody heard me. I said Mr. Taylor and Mr. Marks. If y'all would like to step out.
Miss Nancy, can I ask a question for
Yes.
Mr. Joe?
Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Mr. Joe, you said the water's gonna go east to 182?
So it comes south. The property where it's located, it's located directly across from Jonathan Boyd's house. That's how I know it. It's the only open property left. And right to the east of that property, 300 feet or so, there's a crossing, a 30-inch crossing. That water comes down and crosses under there. There's a coulee that cuts through those properties, a drainage ditch that goes to the big canal that I believe flows east to 182.
That's what I said. It's gonna follow Longwood, or it's gonna follow
that's-
the other Magnolia Ridge, the north of Magnolia Ridge. That coulee,
It's it's the cool, I'd have to check the exact where it goes. It crosses under Leroy Brooks and goes behind, in between those houses, all straight to 182. I don't know which way it directs when it gets to 182.
because you have two coulees right there.
Correct, correct. I know it's,
Miller Road and Montgomery, yes.
right. This
Yeah,
one, this one
there's
is,
a coulee right there by Montgomery Road.
it,
Crosses on 182.
yeah, but this one, so there's going to be two because the road, it's going to two different, and there's actually a bridge right west of the property that this water does not drain to that bridge. They have a high spot there. There's two separate coulees because we got two different,
Correct.
one coming from
They'll go
Montgomery
north,
and
north,
one
south.
coming from Miller. They're going to go to both.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Bellard.
That's the only question I have. Thank you.
So in reference to this subdivision and any subdivision, the retention ordinance that we're talking about putting in place, the main statement that Mr. Gerald stated was it would not cause any more impact on what we have now. That's what the retention ordinance or detention ordinance is going to be about. So,
I think, in fact, we might have even had a reduction,
Right.
15% reduction
and if it-
of
and
the
if
current,
it
of the
happens-
preliminary, of the pre-development.
yeah, and if it happens, that's great. But I think that's our purpose of making sure that what we do, in fact, put in subdivisions, it does not make it worse. You know, I agree. I think that maybe we can maybe look at the 30-inch pipe, maybe go big. I don't know what the answer is for that area.
Yeah,
But our focus on this subdivision is that it doesn't make it worse, and it doesn't even affect the flow at this time, so.
So now, I remember we talked about retention ponds and ordinances, and that's not gonna apply to this situation, or will it?
Well,
It will?
not-
Goes in play. If it
Well,
goes in play-
well, we
You're
already gave a
you're
preliminary.
giving, tonight is preliminary approval only, and then we're not going to go, after the full council vote, is contingent on having that in our design. So if I would submit plans and there's no drainage analysis, no detention pond, that's X right there, like, send it back.
I know we discussed a lot of different things with the ponds, and they're gonna have two, and we discussed about where they should be located, we discussed about maintenance of it, and so I don't think we finished that
And-
ordinance,
and-
I don't
The
think we
ordinances,
had.
the ordinances here
No.
are gonna be introduced
Okay.
at the next meeting.
Yeah,
it
normally
should
for
apply
these, so we do, I can show examples, but we have the outfall pipe only into the public portion of the parish is maintained by the parish. Everything else within the subdivision is going to be not within, outside of the parish right of way of the new dedicated road is going to be maintained by HOA. So it's up to the people to maintain it. You can police it. If they're not maintaining it, you can enforce it for them to maintain. And those are notes stated in the plat and in the restrictions.
Do we have a first and a second? A second? Okay, we have a first and a second roll call.
Okay, Mr. Wayne Ardoin?
Yes.
Mr. Jimmy Edwards? Yes. Ms. Mildred Theory?
Yes.
Ms. Vivian Olivier?
Yes.
Thank y'all.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jerome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Gerald, discuss any other business properly brought before this committee, and I have a couple of things. Mr. Bellard, I know we discussed previously about on Graham Street. Has that been taken care of?
I
With the
believe it
trailer?
Taken care of, from my knowledge. I'm almost positive it has been.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'll check with him, but I mean,
Yeah, I know Kiara and them, sent some people out there, and I was I'm gonna double check tomorrow morning, but I think it was taken care of.
okay, if y'all could shoot me a text. Second is I turned in some blighted property grass, and I don't know because I don't know, I can't speak to Miss Elizabeth, so I thought I would ask you about the three,
So you turned it into who?
I gave it to Barry not Barry, I'm sorry, Mr. Van.
Okay.
And so I don't know, I didn't hear anything back if they were gonna be addressed.
I'm gonna get with Van in the morning to see, and we'll get back with you.
And I had also turned in a blighted property, Miss Alyssa, before the restrictions, so I don't know if it was, I live next door, it was in my neighborhood, and I don't see anything done with the grass, and it's gotten worse, and I know we're about to get into winter, but right now, we're still in the summer?
I'll check with her in the morning and somebody will get back to you, let you know the answer.
Okay, and if, I have one other thing. I mentioned to Garrett, before the meeting started, and I know Mr. Gerald left, and I asked Garrett, I told him I had a question for him, and I wanted to know, we have a lot of situations with solar farms, but not just solar farms, but a lot of different things. And so since we don't have zoning in our parish, and I think we mentioned that already, that we don't, and we only have it on that I-49 corridor, that part of it, is it any way that when we have, and I heard Mr. White say that we don't just, the residents, but I think we have to take everything into consideration. And so being that the residents are who were here and they did the petition and it's a part of the area, I'm just curious to know, Garrett, my question is, if it's not going to confuse you too much, that because we don't have zoning, is it any way that we can do an ordinance about certain situations? Okay, we had this deal with all these halfway houses, okay, not being a part of neighborhoods because we have people that were not happy with those situations. We have, like, a lot of areas have the solar systems the solar panels that are being put in that area. I know we don't have zoning. So is it legal, or is it any kind of way that we could draw up ordinances to restrict certain things in our parish that would be, not good for the parish? I'm saying, like, for example, if we have a problem with a blighted property, or we don't have zoning, but if this house needs to be torn down, if it's dilapidated, I'm just wondering, can we do some kind of ordinance within a certain mile radius that maybe a lot of the constituents could have a voice, or maybe certain things, like we said, with those halfway houses? We do ordinances all the time. Is that an option, since we don't have zoning, that we can't, like, for example, you don't want to have maybe a big old grocery store in the middle of a subdivision, or maybe you don't want to have a animal or a business that's not favorable. I'm just wondering, is it anything else that we can do?
So, yes, that's called land use ordinances. Parish governments can regulate land use anytime they want. So the parish is not officially zoned, it's 70% agricultural woodland and little swampland. The rest, 30% is either going to be business or residential. So we're not zoned. But land use ordinances, we have them now, and parishes can regulate land use all day long, like we have the I-49 Midway Corridor land use regulations for both sides of I-49. As it goes from one end of the parish to the other, it regulates land use. Now, interestingly, those land use ordinances were recommended and approved by Acadiana Planning Commission, and so Miss Gary, who was just at that podium, I spoke with her a number of times about it. So we got our I-49 Midway Corridor land use ordinances for both sides of I-49, which regulates what you can use that land for, preserve property values, and control what the area looks like. So we can regulate land use. You have a subdivision where new mobile homes are not allowed in land use. You can't. You have very strict standards to try to keep saltwater injection, wastewater wells out of St. Landry Parish. Land use. Both sides of I-49, we're regulating land use. So yes, we do have ordinances like that on the books. So we can have, that's a form of zoning. Well, I shouldn't say that because we're not supposed to. It's land use. That's the legal term you got to use, land use.
Okay, Garrett, I'll talk to you more about this later, because that was kind of a short and still confusing. Okay.
All right. Mr. Bellard, I brought it up at the last meeting. Mr. Van was here and Barrett was here also. Mayflower, y'all spent a bunch of money over there, clean that property up. It's back to, they're starting again.
Yeah.
So where are we gonna go next?
The same process has to start, send the letters and do the same. It's unfortunate. I don't know what to do anymore, because
Well-
he's gonna do the same thing over and over again. I know that now that we have this ordinance in place where we can tax, or not tax, but add to the tax roll, maybe that might stop them from doing it, or they're not gonna pay their taxes.
And McBride Street is the same thing. Y'all didn't clean that one up like you did.
Right.
Mayflower, but it's starting all over again. And I mean, the neighbors are just They are very disgusted, and I can't blame them. But the thing about it,
But I know she started on that process, and you know how that is with the letters. It's not just a matter of cutting grass as it is going clean up, but she
Now,
did.
my next question, and I know Barry's gonna look at the situation, but I brought it up the last time that we had committee meetings. It looks like, road district number 9, Fund 1, Fund 2. We're paying for a lot of stuff, sign material and stuff like that. Is all that being used in the district, or is used parish-wide?
Mr. Ardoin,
Yes, sir.
you gonna ask me that question?
I'm asking you that question.
So the answer is gonna be, it's in District 9.
No, 50 barricades? 50 barricades? I mean, and they're using 50 barricades in District 9?
Whatever's in the district, whatever's charged to that district is used in
Well,
that
I'm just
district.
asking you to look at it, please.
Oh, I'm gonna look at it now that you bring it to my attention, but signs and whatever else.
Well, no,
Yeah.
road signs, I can understand that, but I'm talking about brackets and some barricades and some cones. Is that being used parish-wide or just used in District 9?
I'm gonna look at the,
Please, all right?
at the invoices you speaking of, I didn't know.
Okay. He's got a copy of it, all
Okay.
right?
Okay, so
Thank
if
you.
there's any other questions, no further business,
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Mr. Jimmy Edwards? Ms. Mildred Theory?
Yes.
Ms. Vivian Olivier?
Yes.
Mr. Wayne Ardoin?
Yes.
I had 4 of them.